meow.
What?
Rat meow.
Meow?
I don't know what kind of eldritch sorcery you're typing into my chat, Jay, but cut it out because then I'll just let Taryn run a game, and we don't need Colt in the middle of this.
I am typing in Umbral.
Yeah, in Umbral.
In Umbral Oculus Fount. All right, cool. Well, welcome back, everybody. After a few days on the road, the party eventually arrives to the outside walls of Deepwell. They stop briefly at a small shrine to Avandra, where Finn gets to chat with some commoner folk who are looking for changes in their lives and sought out Avandra as a means to doing so. After which, they arrive at the gates proper of Deepwell and begin to enter the city before getting their inspection and paperwork filed by a friendly bugbear, who took a shining to our little Gabo friend, having some shared lineage and bloodline there. Knowing their way around the city, Corvus then led the party from the above ground first layer or layer 0 of Deepwell through the lower layers via elevator or mechanical elevator. They go to one of the middle tiers where they find a nice inn to sit and chat, taking a table from a dwarvish fellow that really deserved it, in my opinion. But, you know, to each their own. Perrin took a moment to collect themselves while the party ordered drinks and food before entering and singing the song in which he created for Relkath, the Fey Lord in which he created a pact with. Yeah. And then shared and partook in the group's meals. Drinks were had, different types of wine were mixed, Art threw up, and eventually saw a sign for a curiosity shop down the street from the inn. Corvus learned that the Wormhaven family made up one of the larger militaries or religiously centered militaries in the area, and sought out information from an individual known as Thaddeus Groom. While they did that, or while Corvus, Orchid, and Finn did that, I fucking hate your faces right now. You guys are up to something, and I hate it because I can't look at chat because I'm looking at my notes. But while they did that, Perrin, don't you pay... you're just sitting there just nodding, like...
I'm listening to this. Tell me the story, Logan.
But no, Perrin, Art, and Eden journey to the cantankerous curiosity shop ran by a tabaxi, a shop where every project was never finished, and so a lot of the goods and things that were laying around were just half-finished messes. That is until Art stumbled upon one of his finished but unfinished messes. A little green creature, or not green, gray creature, bipedal in nature with wings on their back. Stunned and shocked, and Perrin noticing that this was something that Art, more likely than not, wanted, cast a quick spell, immobilizing and blinding the tabaxi shopkeep, stealing this item, and the three of them departed from the shop. And that's where we pick up. The three of you only moments out the door. Where are you running?
Right, so honestly I don't fucking know. But
Disguise self, I look like Corvus.
Great. I'm gonna just I'm gonna lead them away from wherever we were, because we didn't necessarily set up a place for where we were gonna meet up with each other, did we?
No.
No, not that I recall that you guys... No, I don't think you guys did. You're just like, yeah, we're going two different directions. That was it.
Right.
We did set up to meet back at the bar.
Right. Okay. So I will take them back. How far was the bar from the shop? It wasn't too far.
No, you
It
could
was like catty corner,
you could
wasn't
see
it?
it. Yeah, you could see it from
Could see it from the latrine.
bathroom window. Yeah, from the bathroom window. So it probably was like down an alleyway, so like a block or two.
Got it. Right.
Yeah, not very
Okay.
far.
Okay, so we're gonna head back to the inn, and then when we get in there, I'm going to take Art. Oh no, I'm going to turn to Eden as we're walking into the inn, and I would say take him upstairs with this thing, and I will be right back.
I would like to point out that the entire time Eden Corvus has been walking, the hair has been halfway across their face, and they have just been absolutely strutting.
Good. I'm so glad you're in character. Yeah, just doing the. So I turn to Eden. I tell her to take Art upstairs with the thing.
Okay. Which that voice absolutely comes out of Corvus.
Right. Okay. Thank you. And then from there, I bolt over to the bar.
Okay.
Hello.
A elven figure kind of walks up from the opposite end of the bar. Hi. Can I help? Yes.
How much is a room for the night?
Like.
Didn't we already get one, or do we just got food?
We just got food.
The 5 silver.
Right. I put 2 gold on the counter.
One room on hold, or two rooms, 4 rooms.
Give me 2 rooms, and then I put down another 5 gold, and you never saw me here.
They lean in, kind of. How much trouble are you in? We're going to be in, like on a scale of 1 to 5 gold pieces.
Right. I mean, there's 5 on the table, mate. Honestly, I took something that didn't rightfully belong to me. Don't know how that works here, but ultimately, we'll see if anyone figures it out.
I will say that it works, probably how it works in most places if you're stealing something. So yeah, but slides the 5 gold pieces, and it like slides down. They're wearing a longer shirt, like just slides down their sleeves and like into like the little elbow spot. Safe with me. Can't say that. Kind of motions to the rest of the hall. Can't say that any of them won't rat you out, but it won't be me.
That's fine. It's okay. I just want to make sure that the person who hands me the keys is not liable.
Understood. And it takes your 2 gold for the rooms, tosses you back 2 keys, and you have. Would you like first, second, or third floor?
Second floor.
Okay. So you get.
I told her to go upstairs, so second floor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Other than the 2 rooms that look directly out into the street, the rest of the rooms are very subterranean. You open up and it's just like 3 walls and a door, or 4 walls and a door. Very just kind of bare. Has a bed, has a nice little side table, has a spot for like a pitcher of water, but not very lavish living. Just very kind of bare basics, bare bones. Just so that way people can kind of go and have a place to sleep.
Does it have a closet or a cabinet?
Yeah, I would say that there's like a like an armoire style of cabinet.
What does this armoire look like?
I'm not.
Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
It's made of wood and has 2 doors and then has 2 little like drawers
I'm kidding.
at the bottom.
I don't.
Well, no, we're not
Okay.
dealing with your shit today, Taryn. I love you.
Anyways, okay. So I pull Art and Eden into one room, and I say, "Look, take the things that you have from the store and put them in here."
Why?
I don't want people to find them on us, so that if they say, "Oh, you stole things," we can be like, "I don't have anything. What did I steal? I don't have the thing that I. There's nothing that you can blame
Then
me
why
for."
steal it?
Sometimes we make decisions we can't explain. And right now, I can't exactly explain the reasons why I took, or I had you take the things and then had Art take his thing, and I don't have a good reason, okay? I'm not going to sit here and try to bullshit my way out of this one. I just don't. Look at him, and he points at Art.
I was going to buy it.
I don't. You were going to waste every penny, every copper that you had. You were going to just throw it away for something that. No
was
offense,
important to Art.
Was not worth the money. You were getting gouged by someone
What
who was
is
just trying.
what is gold except for stupid shiny shit? It doesn't fix anything.
You have not needed shiny shit. It is clear and evident. You have never been in a position where you've needed shiny shit.
No.
I'm sorry that you've had to live such a privileged life, that you've never had to fight for the things that you've had to be given, okay? Right? My family, before we wound up on the beach in a nice little place, had to be a little bit more unscrupulous, okay? So maybe shiny shit doesn't mean anything to you, but it means a lot to people like me who've had to need it to get anywhere that they've had to get. And when I'm being taken advantage of, when someone I care about, and he looks at you really closely, is being taken advantage of, I will not stand for it.
I did not have a need for it because it did not exist. I paid in blood.
No, I can. Yeah, no, it's different. But
And Eden will walk over and put the things in the cabinet. Should we find the others, or are we staying here?
no, we need to get moving as fast as we can and get ourselves away from all of this, so that we can, have, I guess what I call reasonable doubt is really what we're looking for here.
Do we have disguises? Mine is seamless.
Yeah. No, Perrin pulls out his bag and pulls out his disguise kit and his costume kit. Yeah, I've got a couple of them.
We need to disguise Art. He's a little recognizable.
Well, yeah, it'd take me a minute, but we could definitely do it. And I look over at Art and just kind of go, "You've been unnaturally quiet."
Throughout this entire conversation, Art has been completely fixated on this husk of a object that he's been carrying with him, and basically while that entire argument was happening, completely ignoring everything that Perrin and Eden were saying, gently sets it on the ground and begins just sort of examining it, looking for damage and dents and scrapes, and just basically just trying to assess the situation of what is going on with it.
Go ahead and make a Arcana check for me.
We're gonna go ahead and use that luck die, please and thank you. That's a little better. 16.
16. In the semi kind of shocked and not necessarily frantic, but shocked state that you are in, looking around on the external body of this creation of yours, you don't quite see anything that sticks out as like, oh, this was, it was damaged or it was harmed. You're very much getting the vibe of potentially it ran out of juice in your initial kind of creation of it. You put what you had into it, and that was, that kept it going and kept it alive for as long as you had it. But it may just been one of those things where there's a internal arcane battery that needs to be, recharged. But who knows until you open it up.
And given my external assessment and not seeing anything wrong on the outside, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am ignoring the world around me and trying to get to the bottom of what's going on here.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Tinker Tools check, please and thank you.
Here goes that other luck die. Thank you, folks. Truly appreciate it. I actually were really helpful because that's 2 natural ones that I've rolled today. The second roll was a lot better, though. Just a straight Tinker Tools check.
Correct.
So that's Dex and proficiency.
It'd be intelligence plus your proficiency.
Intelligence proficiency.
Yeah.
Got it. So that would be 25.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you very quickly kind of pull out like a semi-scalpel and like cut into it and rip it open. And while, most people who see something of this make would believe that it's almost 100% made out of some sort of clay or rock or things, this almost seems to take on a mix of like elemental and mechanical. And so as you're moving it around and looking within it, most of the gears and the cogs that are in there that help make some of the heavier duty build of it kind of move and shift and change are fine. You're noticing that there are almost like scorch marks in the center, as if whatever was powering this shattered, exploded. You don't have essentially the heart, the beating mechanisms in which you kind of shoved in a moment. In your youth, you also weren't quite sure what things were. You just kind of threw everything together and it happened to work. It was an experiment of happenstance, right? That was successful. And so you're like, I put something in there. Was it a gem? Or was it some sort of mechanical thing that I created? I don't quite remember, but whatever it is, it's no longer there in the center. And it seems, judging by the scorch marks on the inside, that it exploded or something of that, and was then extracted.
Extracted, as in, like, someone or something removed it?
Correct. Again, there isn't, there aren't very many markings on the inside. It's very, very, very smooth, skin-wise. But
it doesn't seem like it just like combusted or anything along those lines on its own. It seems like there was some sort of outside influence, is what I'm understanding.
With the 26, most likely there was some sort of outside influence. The likelihood, you had this creature for quite some time. If it would have had some sort of internal combustion, it would have happened within that time frame of you having it. So there had to have been something that happened between the last time you saw it and whenever this inside happened that caused that kind of overreaction.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, what have you seen since our departure? What could have possibly caused this? It's, oh boy, I'm gonna need, I need tools, I need resources, I need research.
Art,
Hey, buddy.
I think we are on a short time.
I need you to put that away for right now.
We're coming back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's put it safe so nobody will see it.
Okay.
I would like to know what it is, though.
This is,
we can walk and talk. I really need this to go in there right now.
I pick up the body and store it away as requested, but before leaving it, I put a hand on the carapace. I'll be back soon, Spark. We were gone apart this long, but I'll be back for sure this time. I'll make things right.
What did you call it?
Spark.
No, I really. Could you stay still, please? And Perrin just like pulls out like a little palm of like makeup, and he starts like taking a sponge and like smacking it all over Art's face. And I'm making like, because all I have is the foundation that is my own skin color. I am making Art like a halfling right now, as much as possible, and trying to get all of the green spots. And...
a delightful pointy-nosed halfling. This will be great.
It'll be really easy to explain. You'll be my triplet or brother, whatever. We'll figure it out. And so I'm just like trying to cover up all of the.
How long does
green.
this take?
Like literally like about 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm imagining with this foundation that I basically just look like I'm just sickly.
Yes, because the green really comes through.
It just comes right through.
Yeah, for sure. So he takes a step back. He looks at Art and goes, "That'll have to do."
What about yourself?
Oh, right, me. And he just pulls out this really dark, set of robes. And he has this like dark purple eyeshadow that he kind of rubs like into his eyes, so his eyes look like dark and sunken. But he's Perrin puts the hood over, covers like all of the hair, and he just looks like different. And then for a second, like he takes a quick glance in a mirror and goes, "Oh right," and then like puts the it's like a really good cut line like here and down with the dark purple eyeshadow to make him look sunken, like really look sickly. Right, okay, so shall we?
I suppose.
Okay.
And as you all leave the tavern, we're going to transition over to Corvus and Finn. In these moments, as you guys are standing there, you watch quickly as Orchid doubles over real quick, holding her stomach. He goes, I think I've
Are you all right?
I'll meet you back at the tavern, and just books it down the street.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have Steve with me. Oh, no.
And disappears. But the two of you, now standing like right outside of this small little post used where you just sent your message to Thaddeus Groom. What would you like to do?
So it's been sent. The message is being delivered.
Mm-hmm. You've been standing there for probably about like 3 or 4 minutes at this point.
And Orchid decided to sprint off, holding their side.
Should we go after Orchid? Or, I mean, we I know we have stuff that we have to do, but I am concerned.
I'm not. They chose to go off.
All right, I guess. The others should be around somewhere, so I guess everything will be all right.
Well, if they're headed back to the tavern. That's where the others should be as well. As long as they remain there shouldn't be any qualms.
Why do I have a feeling that there might be some qualms? I
Because
have
Eden
a
is
gut
safe.
feeling.
Every time Eden's involved, chaos brews.
Well, I really don't think that that's a fair thing to say. I feel like Eden has really been very helpful, and you know, she's when we've needed help, she's been there, and I think again, I feel like it's just certain things that haven't been let go from maybe past interactions with one another. But we're friends now, and we can get past those things now that we have an understanding of each other a little bit more.
No.
No, like nothing at all can change your mind about someone. I believe people can change.
It's possible. However, I've not seen enough change to suffice to prove that Eden is not becoming the monster that she fears.
Well, I don't know. Maybe just call me optimistic, but I don't like to think ill of my friends. I want to think that the best in them, you know?
And that's a mistake to have. You call them friends without knowing, truly, what lives they live, what plans they brew, what intentions they muster.
Well,
Friends
I base
have the
things
be-
off actions, and so far, Eden has proved that she has been a friend to us, at least in my opinion, in my experience with Eden, personally.
in every moment in which the eyes go dark and the feral beast inside relents murder and bloodshed more than any monstrosity I've witnessed.
But it's helped us. I mean, heck, oh my goodness, I also too killed people. So, I mean, we all aren't exactly innocent when it comes to like when we have to face things that come against us.
There's a difference between choosing to kill to defend a friend and, as they say, losing your shit.
Well, I do believe that Eden may be struggling with certain control issues, but again, I guess maybe I can sympathize because I'm still discovering different things about my abilities as well. I have a feeling that maybe where she came from, they didn't really explain things to her, or they were doing horrible things to her. When you grow up in that kind of environment, I mean, gosh, I don't know what that does to you.
Unfortunately, society's not in the luxury to determine how long to wait for that to become understood. If she does not remedy this plague that she brews within, then she is not just a danger to us, she becomes a danger to those around us. It is not just you who that gets hurt. Your brother, the rest of our traveling companions, anyone within proximity can fall to the bane of this fey witch.
Well, I like to believe that there's balance in this world. So if she does have some darkness, I like to believe that Avandra has given me the light. So I can keep the balance within our group and make sure that everybody stays safe. I truly believe that.
I do as well, and that is one of the few reasons that I have not removed her head myself.
As you two are having this conversation, kind of semi-walking back toward the tavern, you watch as three kind of suspicious-looking figures in makeshift costumes, except for Eden,
Except-
I think. Except
yeah,
for
who
Eden.
just looks
Except
like-
for Eden,
looks like Corvus.
just walking opposite end of the street from you, toward the direction like where you guys were.
I see a version of me.
You see,
Yeah.
like
see,
a copy
like
of
you
you.
see legit you. Yes.
Yeah.
With two
Except
other
with emo hair.
individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phoenix is going to manifest and just kind of like stay near Finn as like Horus is gonna drift that way, trying to be very like just following the flow, but trying to like sneak without sneaking obviously in public towards this Corvus.
What's your passive stealth?
That would be a passive 15.
Okay.
16.
Yeah, so Art and Perrin, you don't notice it, but Eden, you hear the soft crunching of boots probably about 20 or so paces behind the three of you. It's keeping pace, and then along with that you hear like the very, very soft kind of clinking that is Corvus's whip, his chain whip that he has.
Turn left.
Right. And Perrin
As
turns.
As they go to turn left, Eden is blatantly scratching her ass.
I don't think
Perrin
I
looks
tell
at-
you that you see that. Corvus, but
Yeah, Perrin looks over at her like, could you do that when we're in a more private place?
Corvus is behind us.
It turns around. Oh, hello.
That
I see you've misplaced your twin.
that's Eden, isn't it?
No.
Well, it's clearly Corvus.
So who are you? Because I am
Why?
Corvus. I am so angry at everything.
What reason is there for you
Eden points at Perrin.
to mimic my form and the rest of you to be disguised as such?
My ear may not have taken some stuff.
Like parcels from the tavern?
No. We went to a shop full of unfinished knickknacks and things like that. And
Then Perrin snapped and cast a spell and grabbed a bunch of shit and then told us to grab shit. And then we ran.
I grabbed a shit and then told Art to grab his shit and then told you to grab whatever shit that you wanted. And then he turns to Corvus. I made a judgment call. It may not have been the greatest judgment call of all time, but Aiden was putting us in a rough position.
All I was trying to do was buy the thing that Art wanted really bad, and I don't.
For an inexorbitant cost.
Is Corvus still with them? Like, I'm back where we were standing, right? And then he
So-
uses Echo to switch places.
So
Echo staying back.
Echo's
with
hanging
you.
out with hanging out with you. He took off and like you saw him
Okay.
wrap around into an alley. You also see, this is actually a really good transition because I was just about to DM you. You also see that coming down the street are a trio of guards. Following them is this like cream and black colored tabaxi in like a little bit looser silks.
Okay, basically what's gonna happen is that she's going to her necklace starts to glow, and Corvus will hear Fanara's voice in his head. Where did you run off to? Did you find the others? Was it looked like that was them, but not them?
And upon hearing that, like Corvus reacts, the three of you do not move, and then we'll swap with Phoenix.
She's gonna also too, while she's still casting sending. There's some tabaxi individual and some guards heading in your direction.
And like we'll be there and just sort of swap, so I'm next to you, Fanara.
Oh, I gotta get used to that.
We are going to have to move very casually through this. Do not pay mind to the tabaxi or the guards.
Oh, okay. I'm nervous though. What's going on?
Just and then Corvus will like take his arm into Fanaris to walk towards the rest of the group, and like going through, and we'll just kind of like have this more up energy, a little more like having a time out vibe.
And
Trying to
Fanara
introduce
is
the
going
group.
to blush because of the fact that this is probably the closest that Corvus has ever been, and also to Corvus is way taller. Like, I mean, it's like Orchid and him are tall in her opinion, so she's just like, whoa. I wasn't aware that you were this muscular as well. And then she kind of looks down to her feet for a second.
And like, how close are these guards?
Oh, they're down. They're about half a block away, or probably closer to like a block away, about where the tavern was, give or take. They aren't like super far. Like the tavern, you guys only like separately went like a block or two each way. You didn't go very far to get to your respective destinations before coming back. But these guys, the Tabaxi is doing a lot of talking. Shit, your passive insight is that high?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. And the two of you both noticed, because, 16 and 17, that the guards have this air of like, okay, we're going to help you, but like you also get the sense. Yeah.
I would also like to remind you on behalf of my sister that she is observant, so if she understands a language that they speak, she can read their lips.
And what language are they speaking?
They're speaking common. You would be able to tell, because like the guards are at like semi weird angles, but you're getting 100% what the Tabaxi is very much giving a description of. You catch like the back end of like Perrin's description, so like you get like halfling vest, little green goblin with giant jacket, lady with pink hair and antennas. Like going through and like very frantically giving the what they know.
Fanara is going to also while that spell is still up, she's communicating with Corvus without basically saying anything, because she doesn't want she doesn't want to clue in the people that that obviously they are looking out for their group. So he'll hear like the same description, like every single word that's being said.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Sending has a word limit of 25 words.
That is correct.
So you are.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like every single time there's like a description, they're describing so and so. Like it's short. It's not like it's long.
So like you're gonna cast it a second time.
Like every time I hear a description, I'm saying that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because your first. So what I'll say is your first sending would have been really, really close to the limit. So you really would have only gotten, because it's all like in one instance. Like you can't like. It's not like a telepathic bond where you can start it and then like pick it back up. It's like you're doing like a walkie-talkie, like, "Hey, what's up?" Over, and then like the second you let go of the.
Oh, interesting, because it says it lasts for a round, and that the range is unlimited. It's an action.
So it's like 6 seconds.
So it lasts 6 seconds. So like you sit there and talk 25 words for 6 seconds, and then it's done. So like when you guys swapped, that would have been essentially one round or 6 seconds. And then if you want to, I'm cool with you like doing the general descriptions and having it be one extended one that's more than 6 seconds, for the sake of like cool roleplay shit, because that's dope.
Okay.
But like you can get all the descriptions of like, hey, they're talking about Eden. They're talking about, this is the description they gave for Eden. This is the description they gave for Perrin, and then for Art. The vibe you guys both get body language wise is the guards have like this very nonchalant, not that they don't care, but are like listening very passively, almost as if this Tabaxi has had a similar problem in the past, and so they're kind of just like, yeah, we'll take care of it, we'll look into it. It's not that they're lying, but their body language suggests like if they see the three of them, cool, like we'll take care of it. But very much like Deepwell is a big city. It's not even big wide. It's big like up and down in terms of layers, and these guys are probably just on this layer. So if they don't see them around on the street, they're not going to deal with it.
Copy.
But yeah.
We continue making this friendly approach towards our friends who have turned away from just the kind of gather all together.
Yeah, you guys can definitely like duck back into that alleyway. 3 of them there. You see a second Corvus again. Actually, you see 3 Corvuses because Phoenix is there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Finn.
Oh. For a second, I got very confused there. What did you guys get? What did you do?
Eden points at Perrin again.
You know that there's people looking for you.
Yeah, probably.
Like, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, that's what. Why do you think I look like this?
Yeah, and what did you do to Art?
I've made him look like me. Isn't he handsome?
I mean, you could have did a better job with the blending. I taught you better than that. Anyway, what again? Okay, that's not answering the full question. What?
So in
happened?
Finn's head, she will hear. Okay, so we went to that place that was a Curiosities place, and there's a really sad Tabaxi person in there because like nobody buys their stuff, I don't think. And then there was this weird little gray thing, and Art was really attached to it, and it seemed like Art was really wanting it, and so I was gonna spend 200 gold to buy it. And then Parent was like, "No, that's too much money." And then he cast a weird spell, and then he stole a thing, and then Art took the gray thing, and then I took a thing, and we ran because Parent was like, "Grab what you want," and.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Has things gotten to this point now where you're just taking what's not yours? Mama
Well-
would be furious.
I mean, okay, yes, I took something that wasn't mine. But here's, if I'm going to be honest, it's not like I didn't pay for it. I did take it. That's not Eden. Tell her I paid for it because that's you. If you want me to be honest, I did put money on the counter.
How much money did you put on the counter?
I put down 20 gold.
I put down 80. Because
And-
I felt bad because the Tabaxi was sad. When I walked in, the Tabaxi was sad that nobody bought their stuff.
Right.
Well, now the Tabaxi is really mad and wanting you all to be captured.
Okay. Well,
Who
as
knows
long as
what type of punishment? I don't know.
Okay, listen. I understand that it is a situation that you might not want us to be in, and I get it. But look at me, look at him, look at them, or him. And neither of us look like the description that they're going to give. Okay?
I can turn
Oh.
into a cat.
That is also a viable option. So ultimately, you have nothing to worry about. We have nothing to worry about. As long as we don't fuck this up, we'll be fine. I'm sorry I did what I did, but we were getting gassed. We were getting taken advantage of. This Tabaxi wanted to charge Eden because she foolishly said she'd give $200, 200 gold for whatever this creation thing that was standing there. And I could tell that it was Art's because he was just mesmerized by it, taken by it. So this Tabaxi, while we're talking about me taking things that aren't mine, somebody had something of Art's that wasn't theirs.
I understand that, but two wrongs don't make a right.
I'm
Aaron.
not trying to. I'm just saying that there's a reason for it.
I
Okay.
understand. Now,
Yeah, Art.
Corvus
Well-
checks on the guards.
I was just gonna say, while this conversation is happening, Art was gonna peek around the corner and do the same thing.
They're casually, at this point, they've split up and kind of gone their separate ways, but one of them is just like kind of casually, very nonchalantly walking down the street.
Towards us?
I mean, yeah, down in, like, one of them went back toward where you would know that the shop was. One of them is kind of like walking that way as well, and then the third one is making his way toward you. Not like toward you, but just like down the road,
Our direction.
in your
Don't,
direction.
don't look now, but one of them might be possibly coming this way.
Well, that means that we should probably abscond from the area.
Can we go to
in-
the library now?
That's a perfect idea. Can we go to the library, Corvus?
We're still waiting for my contact to reach out. I have sent message, and we were supposed to be staying at the tavern.
We could go stay at the tavern.
Perrin holds up one key. Yeah, I've got that taken care of.
We got 2 rooms.
How,
Yeah, I saw Orchid running in and put a key in her hand before she went up.
how long do you think it'll be before we can get to the library?
Well, it's supposed to be contact made before the next day. Once that's established, we get information on what we need, resources to get where. If all goes according to plan, at a small expense, then before the next day ends.
So we have to wait until tomorrow?
Logan?
Point of order, Jay. So the message that you were for. Okay, so Thaddeus Groom doesn't know your intent for the what you're trying to do with it. But you would know that the Reggis Vault is a semi, not exclusive, but it's like a semi-open library. There's still some exclusivity to it, where you gotta kind of know the right people or shake the right hands, slide money under the table a little bit to get in. But it's a place that you could go now and would have access to. There are a couple of libraries that would have far more information that Groom or somebody of higher standing could get you into that are very, very private libraries. But the Reggis Vault is one where you could 100% go to right now if you guys wished.
And it's open late then, right? Because I know it was later in the day. This was
most libraries have at least in Deepwell, because there is, once you get to the lower levels of Deepwell, the sun rises at 10 o'clock and sets at 2 because of where the sun is. So it's dark all day. So people are yeah, I work third shift and hang out in the library all night because it's dark anyway, so who cares?
welcome to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very much that vibe of people are going to be in the library if they want to study and read. So because of that, the Reggis Vault does a good job of maintaining and ensuring that there are individuals there to keep watch and help out as needed. Staff would
Reggis Vault's
probably,
on.
yeah, staff would probably be on the lighter end though than during the day.
And it's on the, which ring is it on?
The Reggis Vault would be on the 14th level.
And we're
And
kind
so
of
as you would
halfway through.
know, the levels get high or get lower the farther down you go. So anytime they build a new level, all the levels have to get rewritten.
Yeah.
Because noblemen be like that though.
Yeah, that's why the fourth level tavern is on the 13th floor now.
Yeah.
Because why make it easy?
Yeah, and at one point the tavern that you guys were in was probably super prosperous and wealthy, and now it's just average people go there. But yeah, so you would know that you would have to go down to the 14th level.
Yeah, because
To be
it's
able
how many
to-
total levels?
Currently there are 37 3/4. They haven't fully finished the 38th level.
Okay.
Which is and they're getting real close to beachfront property in terms of going down. Where
So
they're,
if we're halfway down, right?
Mhm.
We would only have to if we wanted to say exactly we're on the 18th level, we would only have to go up 4 levels to get to the library.
down, but
Down 4, yeah.
you'd only go down 4
Oh.
levels to get the light. Yeah, numbers go down.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
The
That's
only
what
one that
I'm saying.
doesn't make sense is the above ground level, which is ground 0 or level 0.
makes total sense.
Doesn't make
I mean, that's on par with elevation levels regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, you would go down about 4, or you'd go down 4 levels from where you're at.
Got it.
But in the meantime, if we require some research now, they may not give us as much as we can later. There is a decent enough library a few levels down.
please take me there.
turns to Eden. Well, how long does this last?
How long has it been since we left the shop?
Like 10 minutes tops.
I can usually keep this up for like an hour.
Okay, so that's nice. How? Yeah.
But this might be a little suspicious.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm just gonna do this, and then Eden will start peeping. As now Eden is a tiny white mouse. There's this little peeps.
I
and
thought you were
she
saying
just
I heard.
peeping.
Yep, that's
I
what I
was
heard.
like,
I'm going.
what?
We're all on the same page. I'm like, what? You're peeing? in the
No,
alley?
Like, stealing
Well, not
stuff,
that gross,
peeing in
Jesus.
the alleyway. Like, come
no,
on, man.
and then
Corvus,
Eden is just
chill.
going to climb up onto Finn, and is just like on Finn's shoulder.
Oh, hello, little Eden, mouse Eden.
Question: as I'm telepathic,
Yeah, your mental, or as a druid, your mental, like, your mental shit transfers over. If it didn't, I would say it doesn't. But I'd say,
Yeah.
because you're telepathic, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would transfer over.
so in Finn's head, you will hear. So I can do this for a while, and I can do it a few times. So we're probably good to go. I can talk to you in your head now. This is something I can do. So.
Oh, that's really convenient.
But look, I'm a mouse with antenna.
I know, it's the cutest little thing. They're so tiny. Like,
I've never
little
been able to
tiny.
tell anybody about how much fun it is to put little antenna on things.
I would probably do this all the time, except I'd probably be some type of sea creature. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Mhm.
I can't turn into things that can swim yet. They scare me.
We'll work on that. All right. We're still
Yeah,
walking,
you guys
right?
at this point are
Okay.
walking down there.
do,
Go ahead to avoid.
He's got little feet. They move fast.
do, do.
To
No, it just
avo-
looked like you were like shimmying.
to avoid suspicion, to avoid guards, all that jazz. Everybody, just give me a stealth check.
Oh, fantastic.
I have a feature to navigate through city. That's kind of like
I'm-
my whole thing.
I'll give you advantage on that if you'd like.
Well,
or
for
actually,
one-
you know what? No, fuck it. That's a background thing. It's basically a feat, so everybody can have advantage because Corvus is leading you.
Ooh,
What are
thank
we
goodness.
advantage on?
Advantage on
Okay.
stealth.
Oh, that
Well,
helped
I've-
me. Thank you.
I've rolled a natural 20, but I'm also a mouse.
Dirty
Well,
20.
I mean, you're also actually, Eden. You don't have to roll because you're on Finn's shoulder, so you're good.
You can easily hide within her hair or something.
I am going.
23.
You have tiny little braids being made in your hair right now. There's just a little.
I'm going to use one of my lucky.
You too. Oh god.
I started with the lucky
Oh
feet.
yeah,
I've just
shit.
never.
Yeah, you're right. You
Yeah,
haven't
that's
used it.
better.
Yeah.
I've never had to use it yet. But yes,
Cool. So, Perrin, what'd you get?
22.
Finn.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Art.
Somehow a synthetic 20.
Cool. And Corvus.
23.
All right. And now for the guards. Are you fucking kidding me? The one time I roll closer to a 20 than a 10 with these dice. But no, you guys are perfectly fine. The guards, you guys pass near guards and are able to, like, Corvus, you're able to, like, see them in advance and shift and move around the way, dodging and dipping into alleyways when needed. Do you take, here's a question, do you spiral down or do you take one of the cages?
By how much time does it take, the difference between like the cages versus the spiral?
Give or take, like, probably like 20, 25 minutes.
If it's just that much time, then we'll just take the spiral
Yeah.
because it's easier to navigate and not get caught.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys do that. You eventually get to the Reggis Vault. We're just going to fast forward because that's where y'all want to go. So we're going to go there. What you guys see is these immaculate, almost Roman-esque style pillars that all made out of rock and all carved into the stone that's currently there. It very much has the vibe of an ancient Greek temple in terms of architecture and look and style. In the top where that top triangle is that sits and rests on top of the pillars, you guys can see a closed eye, emblazoned and carved into it. The doors that lead into the Reggis Vault are gilded with this like combination of like copper, brasses, and bronzes, and then are overlaid with like to make them pop, are overlaid with like lighter colored metals like silver, or even like aluminum, in some cases. But in this case, most of the stuff you're seeing is silver. The iconography on it, for those of you who are interested, if you would like to give me either a history check or a religion check, Eden with disadvantage. Listen, you're not from here.
Oh, so that means I get advantage because I live here?
No, it'd just be no. Like she's literally not from this plane.
16.
10, 16. Corby.
9.
9.
19.
19.
Oh.
13.
13. So, Finn, correct me again. You got a
16.
Okay, so Finn and Perrin. Surprisingly, even though you're not from this region, you would recognize the iconography on it as images and representations of the god Ayun.
Ayun. Yeah.
Ayun.
Also known as the Knowing Mistress.
That's the name I was looking for.
Generally, god of knowledge, god of wisdom, things of that nature. You're not.
These are odd libraries
And that's the
everywhere.
Yeah, like so the eye emblazoned in the top definitely like gives it away. It's not quite as detailed as some of the like actual like temple libraries that you've seen. And then on the doors you're seeing like almost as if Ayun is writing the stories that are going to be held in these libraries. It's very like a very, very far out fictitious portrayal of how the god is or acts, even as they aren't actually the one who goes out and like brings all the knowledge, and is more a representation of that. But for somebody who believes in Ayun and wanted to create their own kind of like little place, it seems like a great way to honor them.
Hey, these are odd libraries everywhere. I mean, you can't sneeze and look at a library without it being covered in Ayun.
I mean, the goddess of knowing. It makes sense.
It's just the absolutely most obvious thing. So yeah, there should be a whole bunch of stuff in here that we can learn.
What did you want to find, Ari?
I need information.
Well, we're in the right place.
I need any information I can find on arcane power sources, on homunculus, on
In
artificial
Art's
life,
head,
anything.
Art will hear, what is a homunculus?
It's well, it's kind of a long story, but essentially it's a non-magical object that is still capable of completing mundane tasks. At least that's what it's supposed to be, but that's not what Spark is.
Why are you looking for a book on something that isn't really connected to it?
Well, might be the thing that we snatched. Just putting it out there.
Oh,
So-
well, he said that it wasn't a homunculi, so I'm
Is-
very confused. I don't know, but I can help you find the book.
His name is Spark, and well, I was very young when I made him. I was still learning how to do this, and well, I maybe got a little ahead of myself and tried seeing if I could do this, but it was more advanced than I was capable of, and well, I got Spark.
Did you? Well, we're just going to take a stab in the dark here, friend. You weren't exactly the most popular person in your village.
Well, there's a reason why I spent a good amount of time with my dads.
Yeah, you made yourself a friend there, didn't you? And he like stops and like holds Art's hand for like a second. Okay. All right. Well, we're going into this fucking library. We're gonna go find some shit about arcane, whatever, and then he turns and looks up at the little mouse on his sister's shoulder. We're also gonna look up information about hags because if we don't do that, then I will feel like we failed Hale in one way or another. Even though that's like a thing that anyone can do just by coughing. So,
In Corvus's head. Corvus, would you take me to look at the books? I don't want everyone else to see in case it's what I think it is.
No response.
hey, let's go.
There's a way to go about these things, and then you see where Fanara looks like she's rolling up fake sleeves. I want to kind of focus because Fanara, she's familiar with libraries. She loves reading books.
Yeah.
So, is there a way for her to tackle this like she would when she's trying to look for a good time at the library?
Like you're talking about like
as far as like knowing the quickest way, like because obviously like they're organized in certain sections, kind of like honing in on that to expedite the process.
Once you step in, you'll have to do a quick look around to get your bearings, but
Yes.
shouldn't be difficult for you to do that. But as you roll up your imaginary sleeves, and you step into this library, the doors, you push the doors open, and now as the sun is kind of, well, it's dark in Deepwell, you push in, light fills your eyes as if hundreds of tiny suns are illuminating this chamber. And as you step into...
Look from the big light.
Yes, you're in heaven now. No. As you guys step into the Reggis Vault, we're going to take a quick break.
Hey!
Yeah. So, stay tuned. Type in barefoot into chat for your chance at a random Umbral Oculus D20 brought to you by our friends at Umbral Oculus. I'm not going to show you what's in this one. I'm going to put it down here.
Barefoot.
Yes.
Barefoot.
I almost just put two F's.
Having fun isn't
hard
when you got a library card.
I love that you picked that up. Thank you so very much.
And this is where we're at. Cool. So we'll
This
be
is why
back
you're
in
my
about.
sister, you know that?
We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Go get your library cards if you already haven't, because you'll need them in order to enter. Type in the code and all that fun stuff, and we'll be right back.
Hey, bye, everybody.
Casual has
so
logged
it's
out.
just a very pretty vault.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. As the doors swing open to the Reggis... oh my god, now I almost just called it reggae. I hate you so much. You did it on purpose. It wasn't even Taryn this time. As the doors
We
swing
also
open...
all swapped, by the way.
Did we really? Shit, who do I got?
We're all
Eden's
swapped.
fine, Perrin's fine. No, it's just you and Art, you and Eddie again. We're good.
Yeah.
Look, apparently Eden has been having some fun and apparently has applied this whole shape-shifting thing to all of us. So, apparently just for a brief moment, Finara was Art and Art was Finara. It was a weird, out-of-body experience.
Bernarda?
Bernarda.
Finarda. You could shorten it to fart, but
Yeah. I love it. Thank you.
I am Fanata, but you've been
That's-
calling me Thought
that's
for
what
Thought.
I mean, that's what the ship name would be. That's for sure.
there we
Yes.
go. Anyway, on that note, Reggis Vault, lights, dazzling. You see dozens of these floating candles, going like just kind of aimlessly drifting around this open space. The inside, the rock and stone seems to have been gilded with a layer of marble, or some sort, like either that or marble has been placed upon it, to give it this almost, I don't know, like grandioseness, right? There's this large wooden desk that takes up a good portion of this entry space prior to you going into the library itself. It's very much like you step in, there's the like main office desk, and then everywhere else is books with these tiny little candles kind of floating around. It's one level, but with the vaulted ceiling that kind of goes back from where the top of the temple, quote unquote, would have kind of extended, is like a good like 50 feet in the air. A major there above, you can see kind of similar paintings and reliefs on the ceiling of various places that Ayun has traveled, or has traveled, and has taken a written record of their adventures there. So at one point, you see a very familiar looking lake in the center of a desert. You see these frozen wastelands with a giant mountain with magma kind of pouring down it in the backdrop. Another one you see is just a forest with this giant swath of it cut out in the middle, and where that cutout is this just giant, ever continuing, even as the horizon goes, river. Just to name a few of them. As you step up and into the space, you can see, kind of head down and slouched, like on the side, eyes closed, a halfling sitting on a pile of pillows, sitting on top of a chair. It looks as if there are numerous tomes kind of stacked up, some of them open, some of them closed, around her as she's apparently dozed off during her shift at the front desk or while she was reading.
Now, question: is this library navigable, or do we need assistance?
Well, let's Finara, give me a
Investigation?
give me no, I kind of want to give me a perception check. We'll go with perception because I feel like you are very much like, you're book smart in the sense of like you read books, but like what drives you to like the books you read are generally like street smart books. So yeah, I'd say you generally have knowledge and look around and stuff. Anyway, Art, what do you want?
Whether this applies to giving some sort of advantage or anything, my background is as a sage. I am a researcher.
Okay.
So, according to that, I should be able to assist in this in some way.
Yeah, I'll give advantage, or if you want to do an investigation check, either Finara gets advantage, or I'll let you roll as well.
Up to you.
If you're assisting, I'd say Finara advantage, but that's up to you, Art.
I'm sorry, Finara. This is the one time Art's going to be selfish.
No, that's why I said it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 15, by the way.
15, perfect. Art.
Actually, the same.
All right. As you both scan out, you would notice the immaculate system made by Sir. No, I'm kidding. I was gonna make a Dewey Decimal joke.
I was like,
no.
wait, yes.
But no, you can see there aren't necessarily labels, right? Like you don't get the vibe that there's labels, but you've been in enough libraries and you can generally kind of pick out where like people are more leisurely reading versus where people are, like the handful of people that are in here are more like looking, copying and very like meticulously looking, and like based on that vibe you can go, all right, cool, fiction, nonfiction, go. In
First round, looking into anything dealing with Arcana, okay. And basically, or the ability to gather that arcane energy within oneself. Cool. The other one would be obviously anything, or like looking the section further down for homunculi and like how, like basically the how to do it for dummies.
I'm not kidding,
So
we're
we
not-
know that this exists in Ecriom in my mind. They always do.
For
You always have it for dummies. Yeah, but then also too one that's like talking about like the earliest, I guess earliest experiences with actually creating them.
Okay.
Maybe like the history.
Yep.
Of it.
Perfect.
That's my first round of books.
What? I
Make
can't
it
have the
easy.
bless, really? I was gonna give it to myself, but you know, it's cool.
Same.
Thanks, April. Okay, cool. So wait, and the first one was arcane within.
So it's like how to gather arcane energy within oneself. One that is kind of a basic, informative book on the arcane.
So how to harness arcane power internally.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And Art's gonna add to that list anything pertaining to the facilitation and creation of artificial life.
Oh my god, I'm not even gonna write that whole thing. I'm just gonna put AI. How do AI?
How do AI?
Let's see.
I?
We got Eden with Haggy things.
Eden with like haggy things, which Finn will just hear in her head, and Art and like everybody, like Eden will just keep telling everybody, I would like something about knowledge of what hags are, and then I want unseelie court.
Oh god, okay. Unseelie court.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I would like a brief history of Wifeglen.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
And maybe one on Archfey.
Archfey.
You got it. I
I
believe
love-
that
I
these are
love
in the
this
same
because-
sections.
I love this. Actually, you could find all of those in the exact same site. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
How convenient!
You know, they actually do. All of those have some crossover. So those will be. You find one, you start to find others, especially Unseelie Court and Archfey.
Yeah.
Because hand in hand.
The Deepwell Decimal System.
Oh my God! Yes.
God, it's the Deepwell Decimal System.
There we go.
And Eden will be assisting with the searching if, like, I'm
Like,
just
hopping
saying.
along.
Like, I will go from book to, like, if something's too high, Eden will climb up and kick it off.
With their little mouse foot.
Cool.
So there's just, I'll go up the
then
shelf, pushing off books.
Like I'm making a running list so I can kind of we can hit some things at the same times.
And as Eden drops those books, Art's going to make sure that he has his extendo grabber handy.
Cool. Perrin, any books or anything for you?
I am helping the group, and if by chance I stumble upon the bard that he is he's trying to supersede, he will try and find the living works of Billy Tremblepike.
All right. Okay. And Corvus, like, were you being serious when you said you weren't there?
Now, Corvus is going over to the nonfiction side, specifically historical fiction of Deepwell, Wormhaven. All things related to, connected in any way, shape, and or form.
I love you. Thank you for making that really easy for me. Cool.
Oh, and then there's going to be one book that's to bully Perrin, which is going to be on kleptomania.
How to bully Perrin went up.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a book on dragons are real, you dummy.
It's true. Dragons are real. Here's a picture.
Hey, I said this is my
Draconomicon?
first round. I didn't say I was done.
Oh my God. Wait. All those books were just for your first search. No. I'm
Oh
kidding.
yeah, and there's at least one book that's going to be added to the secondary search, which is the complicated contradictions of blending science and magic.
Oh my God. There are none. No.
Nerds.
So, okay, let's hit some of these. I'm gonna make some of you guys roll, and then hold your rolls. So, Corvus, since you're by yourself, you can roll me a investigation or perception, your choice. Straight roll. Is the vibe that you guys are each looking for your own books and Finara is helping you all? Or is it Finara is looking for all of these things and you guys are kind of just there catching them as she's pulling them off shelves?
Eden's definitely doing a bit of like Eden's not real familiar, so she's definitely looking for her own, but it's definitely with like Finn's guidance of like, where the fuck am I?
Pointing like,
Yeah, because
"That one
Eden
right
don't know.
there."
So what I will also say is all of the three of you, and Perrin is kind of off on the side, so he can help whoever he chooses, in whatever way Perrin chooses. But since you're under Finara's direction, but Finara is also looking for very specific things for her attention can only help you guys so much. So what I will say is that instead of giving you guys advantage on your rolls, she will give you each a D4. She'll essentially give you guidance. Perrin, you can help whichever of the group that you see fit. Very similarly, Finara, you also will get a D4 for your roll because through helping others, you're going to be able to help yourself. Because they'll come around and help you, you help them. It's a very symbiotic relationship.
I get it. Doing it on my own is worse. Damn, don't have to preach it.
Listen, I didn't choose to go up on
Sucks to suck.
Cool. So everybody roll either an investigation or perception based on whichever one you would like to do. And then
Hey,
yes.
Finn. Hey, Finn. Hey, Finn.
Yeah,
Finn?
yes,
Hey,
yeah.
Finn.
Huh?
Hey.
What,
Sorry.
what is happening right now?
You said perception or investigation?
Correct.
And he just kind of like takes her by the hand and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know that, right?"
I know. Sorry, I got a little upset back there, but I mean, to be fair, I didn't expect this from you.
There are a lot of things that you don't know, but probably for the better. But remember, you're the better one of us. And he like squeezes her hand, and I'll give her bardic inspiration. So you have a D8 that you can use.
Fantastic.
And what I will say is, I mean, Perrin has multiple bardic inspirations, but if you wanted to save it, you could also transfer it to round 2 of your list of things
Okay.
in which you.
Yeah, I
wanted to
think
look forward to.
I might save that because of the fact that I did get a 19 plus 4, well, plus the D4, which was a 4. So
23.
yeah, 23.
Cool. All right.
25.
Hold on to your numbers. The great thing about only having one thing for me to do is that you also get to go first. So Corvus, we're gonna come hang out with you in your little what?
I only really had one thing.
Wait, what? Oh, you had one thing as well. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about you. Well,
It's easy to do that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, everybody.
You're just so little. It was.
Thank you.
I just completely overlooked you. I'm sorry.
That's a short joke. I hate you.
Don't play
Please
a
continue.
Don't play a halfling. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna regret all of this later because if there's anyone I fear the most at this table, it's Renee.
That was your first mistake.
No. So, Corvus, you go and start looking. What'd you roll?
22.
22. Cool.
22.
Easy enough. You start looking through like the anthologies of Deepwell, and looking for Wormhaven specifically. Wormhaven isn't just a place. God, I hate that I'm about to say this. Wormhaven isn't just the name of like the estate. It's also the name of the people who live there. So it's like a family name. It's not Asgard. But the people who live there have been living in Deepwell for generations. They are very ingrained in Deepwell society. Some accounts talk that they were some of the first people to facilitate the layering of Deepwell. They started off as richer merchants and traders who over time grew into a space where they could assume nobility. The trade lords essentially created a nobility class for themselves, and then that nobility class kind of turned into a ruling council of dukes and earls and things of that nature. The Wormhaven family continued to move downward and downward and downward. Now they're on the second ring, where their estate currently resides. Every time there's a new layer built, they're one of the first families to move, other than the richer families that live on the first. The current Lord of Wormhaven is a individual by the name of... Why did I rearrange your notes right before this? An individual known as Zeke Wormhaven. He has 3 children, and they've been living there for, well, forever. But he's been the ruling duke for at least the better part of three centuries. He is a devout, and the Wormhaven, this is the other thing you notice, by the time that they get to the 13th or 14th, what would have been the 13th or 14th layer, the Wormhavens become a permanent fixture in Deepwell. They stop, while they trade a little, they really just dig into the fact that they're nobility at this point. And they ingrain themselves in a deep, deep religious belief of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon. It's to the point where they are almost responsible for half of all of the military for Deepwell when there's true signs of war or destruction. In general, it's pulled from the population, but when shit hits the fan, the Wormhaven family calls in all the help, gets as many people and worshippers of Bahamut as they can, train them up, and they go out and fuck shit up. The Wormhavens also have the only temple to Bahamut, which, as they move deeper and deeper, the temple goes further and further underground. It is known as the Wormhaven Horde, which some believe is a legit horde, Scrooge McDuck style, while others just believe that it's a fancy name for their temple. In recent years, the most recent kind of excerpts on Zeke is that the Wormhaven family has kind of been thrown within the last about decade into ill fortune. They have been losing money. They've been making bad deals. General, just kind of little things here and there that are seen as ill omens for Zeke and his family, to the point where they think that if somebody were to try to usurp or come in and another noble house were to take over his house, his estate, would very likely happen. Some are saying that the horde is literally and figuratively diminishing, and that there's no light or presence of Bahamut in Wormhaven. You're muted, but I assume you closed the book.
And he just turns page.
Next page.
Oh,
yeah, next page.
Yes, page 2. But yeah, so as you keep reading, we'll transition over the other group. Let me see. Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm looking up one thing. What'd you roll?
Did not roll yet, so I will use another lucky just for shits. Oop, that's cock. That literally was the same number. So that is my passive perception, because my perception is better. Well, my perception and my investigation are the same. 13 is the answer.
And you're looking for, again, give me the exact thing you're looking for.
If I can find books on hags first, I'm going to do that. If I get lost in the sauce, then I'm gonna find the living works of Billy Tremblepike.
Okay. With a 13,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of just like you're very much helping others, and you're helping guide Finn, but in doing so, you're looking for bits of knowledge on your own. You get to the section where like it looks like a very full amount of like collections of bards, songs, and poems and writings, and you start looking around. I would say you would find maybe some of the early works,
Okay.
but nothing. Like, it's like maybe he stopped here in Deepwell and like wrote some stuff down on paper and then left it there because he thought it was garbage. And people found it and were like, oh, this is really good. And so they enshrined it in this book. A lot of it talks about just like general, like, it's very like, I hate to say like country, where it's like, yeah, I'm driving a truck and tractor and drinking beer. But it's very like that vibe, but like adventuring on the road and like traveling from place to place on the road. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm staying at this inn and hanging out at this tavern and, you know, drinking beer and getting in bar fights and that kind of stuff. But then toward the end of it, it's very much like thoughtful prose almost.
Right. So we're talking like the thunderstorm, the evening's tale of the frozen solstice, the eighth king, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. Perfect. Yeah, but then other than that, I mean, there are bits and pieces from other bards that are out there. None of them are names that you've heard of, and there are very few, if any, from the Isles, or names that you would recognize of like having or being from there. And so, like, as you're looking and wandering around and kind of just going through all these, nothing really. There's not really a whole lot here. Deepwell is too far, kind of inland, for there to be very much something for like that would pique your interest or like not be kind of common in your mind. Like nothing that would like blow your brain.
All right.
Yeah,
For sure.
let's see, the meat and potatoes of tonight. Let's start with
all 50,000 things that were asked for.
Maybe
Hey, some of them are like
One section,
looped together.
okay?
yeah. No, let's put all
Like
of
by topic. Let's do by topic.
let's put all of Eden's fish in a barrel, because all of those are relatively close. Eden,
Fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What'd you roll, Eden?
That was a 25.
25. Okay, cool. So, Archfey and Unseelie Court. You learn that Archfey are those not only who are extremely powerful, and more specifically from the Feywild, but from who deal with Fey magic specifically. So, like, somebody doesn't necessarily have to be, the vibe you're getting, don't have to necessarily be from the Feywild to be an Archfey. You just have to have a strong enough connection to Fey magic, and then if you ever got there, you could potentially gain the title. It's definitely a title that is won or kind of fought for, you feel. It or earned in some way. It's almost like a boon. Those who get it usually have to overcome some sort of either deep tragedy or loss, or overcome some great obstacle. The few that they talk about, from the Sealy Court in particular, is the one that they've at least mentioned is Oberon. who is the ruler of the Summer Court. And then the other Archfey that they mention is the Lord of Bones, who is a member of the Autumn Court. Member, not ruler. This also, the book that you're reading in particular on Archfey seems to be almost as if somebody had traveled there and traversed the lands and had some sort of, like, there's a lot of, like, when he, or, like, you know, like, there's a lot of, like, almost like conversation, like talking back and forth. You get the vibe that Archfey don't typically stoop to the level of, like, common, even the good ones don't stoop to the level of, like, hey, I'm gonna sit here and hang out with a mortal for, you know, a day and tell him my life story.
Yeah. So what information is there on the Lord of Bones?
Lord of Bones,
Like, what does it say? Like, I mean, Lord of Bones is a spooky name, but does it say anything like...
Yeah, so Lord of Bones is a Archfey that deals with kind of like the like the Feywild equivalent of necromancy. He is very much ingrained, and this is a title that, again, this one is one that's specifically earned. So the title Lord of Bones is one that's like, this is like the 18th Lord of Bones that he's talking to, right?
Okay.
So it's one that's earned, and then once you've earned that title, it's by supplanting the current Lord of Bones, or in the event of the Lord of Bones dying. But you don't get the vibe that, like, Archfey die of natural causes. But necromancy, huge undead army, giant keep made of the skeleton of an ancient great worm. They also serve directly under the Autumn would be oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Where's it at? Oh, I gotta pull up. We'll go back to that.
Okay.
But they are a member of the Autumn Court, which would be Unseelie. The opposite of that would be Winter, but there's no mention of who the current like head Archfey of the Winter Court is. Let's see, diving into Unseelie Court, you would get a little bit of the Night Mother is one of the names that's in reference to. The Dark Mistress, the Black Dread is another one. A lot of, again, very... it's all of the chill of winter with the death and decay of autumn. And she has been ruling over the Unseelie Court for as long as anybody could remember.
Okay. And no familiar name, obviously, popping up yet.
No.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me pull up one thing. Waifglen. You learn that Waifglen was not originally from here. Waifglen was from the Feywild. Because of that, the elves of Waifglen are very guarded. They don't necessarily trust the Fey. They have taken it upon themselves to be protectors of this area, the Sunken Forest, where water is. There's typically a lot of connection to the Feywild, with things like nymphs. The Sunken Forest is legit a bunch of trees in like 3 or 4 feet of water that, as far as the eye can see, and there's a giant lake right next to Waifglen. But anyway, they've taken it almost not necessarily vendetta level, but they've taken it upon themselves to create a defensive barrier from the Feywild for this area of Cantor. And in general, those that are from Waifglen, like I said, super distrustful of the Fey. They also, when out in the real world, tend to be the ones who will pick fights with Fey-ish creatures. Not necessarily out of fear or anger, but more out of protection for the area. Because a lot of times where there's one Fae, there's like 10 that are hidden.
Any mention of prominent family?
They are ran by a noble family, or like a semi-noble family, but like they're more of like more communal. But there are a group of druids and archdruids that are the main kind of like pillar that supports the barrier that they are trying to keep from the Feywild spilling in. No mention
Does
of
it
any,
mention?
no mention of any
No.
specific names, though. No.
Okay. Does anything sound familiar to Eden, like in general, like looking over it? Does anything like stir a memory?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any inspiration, so that's a grand total of 7 for a natural 1.
7 for a natural 1. Wait. Oh wow. Okay. With a 7, you get a flash, very briefly. Are you about to go ahead and re-roll that? You're great, Art. You're a great human being.
Now that becomes a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, so that changes what I was going to give you entirely, actually. Cool. I love it.
Thank you, Art.
What you remember now is a crown, or like almost very similar to a crown, or like kind of band of branches and twigs of different like foliage and leaves across it. Some of them kind of starting to turn the different like reds and oranges and yellows. And then your father's face. Very soft complexion, hair kind of pulled back into a small kind of ponytail in the back, like super, super short. And it's almost as if the face is looking right into you, into your soul, into your eyes. As you're doing that, and as you're kind of staring out at this figure, your body instinctively turns, and you begin to head out and into the wide world of Waifglen. Now, what I will say is Waifglen itself, Waifglen proper, is very much a blur and very much a haze. You're almost tunnel visioned. And as you run around the outskirts of the lake in which Waifglen sits, you start to delve into the woods, following a rose, and then another. And then your vision kind of pulls back. Your father, from what you can recall, was one of these druids. Not 100% sure where he was in the hierarchy of things, but reading about, okay, there are prominent druids that are from here, and then like you're like, wait, I'm a druid. How did this kind of work? Immediate pull. Hags. Hags are fae that oftentimes rally or group in 3. A sisterhood. They aren't very popular. They're not very powerful when alone. Their power is drawn from them being together as a coven, is what it's called. In the search for more knowledge, you learn that in the material plane, hags are often known to sow chaos and destruction in the mortal realm. In the Feywild, though, they become subservient. They aren't powerful enough to ever reach the higher end of the hierarchy of the Fey. So instead, they choose to serve. oftentimes in the favor of, higher archfey, fey or archfey. You also know through these studies and with the high roll that you got that hags aren't necessarily just like a person, right? Like a single like type of person, right? You can't like one person is a hag, but there are people who can become hags, or through rituals and magic can be given these fey magics. That's what you get for hags.
Word.
Let's see. Do I want arcane energy gathering and homunculus or AI?
Just a real simple AI.
Which one of you wants to go first? Well, actually, you guys are both kind of doing. You guys are kind of simultaneous. They're all under the same thing, so I guess that works.
I would have seen all of the stuff too, the same stuff that because technically, because she's a mouse, then I'm the one who's flipping the pages, right? Or helping to like stuff up.
I was gonna say so. Yeah, like honestly, I think once they started reading about Waiflin, like at that point, I think that's when Eden would have just popped back into normal form. Probably. Okay. Like, I mean, at that point, like they're inside of a library is probably like it wouldn't have been just like ha like in the middle of everybody, but it would have been like, okay, it's
okay. So it was the Waiflin and the hags were only seen by Eden.
Yeah, like you would have seen for sure like the first bit. I think up until like up until she started like having recollections, I think Eden would have like not cared.
Okay.
Cool.
Just had to make notes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. So then the two of you combined, in terms of arcane energy gathering, into oneself, there isn't much. There are definitely powerful wizards, sorcerers, spellcasters who have found a way to harness whatever has driven them. In terms of clerics, it's reaching into their divine, potential and their faith in whatever god that they worship. For druids, it's this deep connection with fey, elemental, natural magics, and even fey kind of delineates between natural magics and this kind of wild magic that's out there. The unknowingness and sporadicness of the Feywild. Sorcerers can harness and pull kind of arcane nature from themselves innately, but there isn't much study of that because it's hard to. You'd have to run test after test, and there's no standard art. Like the language is very clear. There's no constant, and there's no variable in like every sorcerer is a variable, and there's no constant in testing and looking at the powers and capabilities arcanely of a child of sorceress origin. Let's see. What am I missing? And then there are people who have been able to tap into arcane elements and forces through creating pacts and deals with greater individuals, whether they're archfey or devils or demons or things that should not and never should, or that aren't and never should be named. But again, those are there's no consistency in how it's done. It's very much a trial and error process. The only people that are able to remotely test this theory are those who take the time to truly sit and study and learn. And from the books that you're reading, it's very much like, if you'd like to know more, talk to the mages in the tower, like talk to the mages of the Malthier Collective, because it sounds like this is just like a very basic like overview of how magic is portrayed through people, but the Malthier Collective is where you would go if you wanted to like actually see the tests, for lack of better words, that were ran. Homunculus for dummies, as I worded it. Everything you have found is the writings of wizards and sorcerers and practitioners of magic. And I say that because your goblin friend and Art, you recognize this very clearly. There is nothing mechanical in any of these tomes or manuscripts about a homunculus. What you did is either so unique that only you specifically have done it, or what you created in name was a homunculus, but in practice was something else entirely. Let me see. The things that are in common is that it was an extension of you. However, it didn't have a telepathic bond with you. It spoke very plainly and verbally to you. Like, you spoke back and forth using Goblin. And that the means of its creation was arcane in nature, but it was more mechanical arcane than, like, magic. Let's see. AI. Through looking in the Reggis Vault, you keep hitting the same constant, in the sense that every tome you pull that talks about creating artificial life starts with, like, constructs. Talks very heavily about the Warforged. And how there are only like 2 or 3 books that actually are talking in depth, but talk about how the Warforged were created using a connection between those who were dying and or passing on as a means of transferring the soul. There are also constructs where, while they are sentient or aware, they're not like fully what we would know as artificial intelligence, like self-aware. They have some of them have mechanical, like, gear makeup. That is what they function, but all of them have to have a level of consciousness in order to be able to hear and listen and follow directives that their creators have given them. There's one civilization that's known, not only for the creation of the Warforged, but for, in theory, being the creators of, well, actually, with Warforged, being the creators of self-aware life, and that would be the Falrost. But that's where you draw the line.
What was the name again?
The Falrost.
How do you spell that?
Let me double check my map. I'm sitting in front of it. It's actually right over here somewhere. But it is spelled... Where's my map? Map. Cantor.
I see it. It's over
Falrost.
the far west.
Falrast. And you would know... so, in theory, that's where it is on paper. Nobody's actually been there since the fall of the Falrost. Which was... back during the age prior.
So the Falrost are a lost civilization.
The Falrost is an old dwarven kingdom. This is the little bit I'll give you because there's not a whole lot known because people haven't really gone there. The Falrost is a lost dwarven kingdom that went silent halfway through the Age of Scourges, which was the age that took place prior to the current age you guys are in.
Ugh. Another dead end. I need to know more.
Is there anything that we see, like if we tried to look for something specifically on Falrust, do we see anything that may have, like, because also too, Fanara does know Dwarvish. So even if it's in the Dwarven language, she would be able to decipher.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Can I add to that as well, partially because of my sage, but also partially because I speak Dwarvish too?
Sure. Yeah,
You
go for
wouldn't
it.
have to because I had a nat 20.
Well, there we go.
There you go. So you
So
look.
yeah, with that, that's like, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
For
it's a lot.
investigation?
Well, I mean, 21 is pretty high
Yeah.
for
No,
investigating.
you're good. I just want to double check.
I thought it was high. Maybe I guess it's not high.
The DC isn't that high. So you begin looking and searching and combing through the tomes that you already have that mention the Falras, and then like in the area around where you had found those tomes. You don't find anything that talks about like the history or what the Falras was or anything like that specifically. But almost as like if somebody was annotating, whether it was the author of a tome or somebody in passing who read this, in between the lines, very kind of discreetly coded into the writing in like little tiny dwarvish runes, you read where the tears began is where the Falras ended.
And then, so Art understands this too, right?
Yeah, you can point out to Art.
Okay.
Art, you could very like, Finn's like, oh wait, I think I see something there. You did a little click with your zoomy goggles.
Where-
And
Yep.
Where the tears began is where Falras ended. What does that mean?
It doesn't make any sense.
Is it referring to a certain? It's referring to a location, maybe where, I don't know, there was a war or something disastrous.
Would I know anything about if the tears is a reference to anything in particular?
make a history check. Go for it.
Do I still get to add that D4?
No, the D4 was only for looking at books in particular, like looking for the books in particular.
Well, that came out to an 11.
An 11.
I got a 17 because I'm sitting there very quietly
Because you're-
going over stories I've heard over time.
So you're sitting there kind of looking and thinking and kind of like sit back in your chair. At this point, you guys have been here for a couple hours and like pouring through stuff. No, you don't. You're like, tears? What? Who would be crying? Why would the Falrest ended? We're somewhere crying. Like you're not. There's not. But
Yeah.
Perrin, you've heard through song of the Frosttooth Mountains and how in the spring, when spring starts to fully kind of shift into summer, the mountains thaw, and they thaw hard. But it starts as a small trickle, and where that small trickle began, the kind of ballad of the tears began. The Frosttooth Mountain is the Frosttooth Mountains are some of the very few colder climate areas in Cantor, and when they melt, they weep, they cry, and they cried so hard, they made a river known as they made two rivers known as the Tears. So you know that the Tears is a pair of rivers, one at either end of the Frosttooth Mountains, that connect to create Winter's End, which is right around Alverton.
You're thinking about it too literally. You got to. It's a little bit more esoteric. than it is the obvious thing that's something, someone crying. It's a little bit more creative than that.
Well, what do you think it means?
Do you know something?
Yeah, there's a set of mountains up near Alvagen, the Frosthooth. When spring and summer come round, the ice and snow on the mountain thaws something serious, and the tears are actually the names of the rivers that come off the mountains.
So the tears are a place.
Where the tears began is actually it's where the melting.
Well, I was
probably
partially
starts.
correct. I said it was a location.
I mean, you're close. But yeah, no, there's a. It would probably be a I mean, I don't know this place, but it seems like it's probably far from here. You know, another thing we can add to the list of shit that we're eventually going to get to.
Yeah,
And we have to look up dragons. We're gonna
No,
investigate
no, we
that.
don't. No, we don't, because they're not real. So,
Go ahead and roll a d20.
me or them?
Well, whoever's are you? Hang on.
I'm looking.
You're actually looking? Go ahead. And,
I'm
you know
looking, and I'm gonna look for draconic language.
hang on 1 second. Perrin, how badly do you not want Thanara to find anything about dragons?
So badly.
Okay, cool. So
Wait, contestant?
no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a weird ruling of bardic inspiration. Bardic on inspiration. So
Cool.
basically,
No.
Perrin is talking so incessantly about the fact that there aren't any dragons that you'll get.
I'm following you around.
and,
And I'm just
pestering
talking.
you about it. That it's distracting you from actually looking. So you'll subtract. You'll
I will-
subtract
Bane.
a bardic inspiration die from your roll. I'm sorry, I don't want to do
Right.
it, but like it's also fun, so I kind of want to.
All right.
It also
Yeah.
Renee's face.
We're just too excited.
I've checked off bardic inspiration because I'm going to use it to make sure that you.
If we could
you
use
know,
it twice, you probably would.
I would.
There's no need for subtracting when you get a nat 1 on a die,
You're
unless you want me to have a negative upon a
hang on.
negative number.
Okay, hang on. What's the total though? So what's the total?
For what investigate? Like
Perception
that's a
or
2.
perception or
two?
investigation for you? Because so
Oh,
like
if it's perception, then it would be an 8.
an 8. Okay, so yeah, roll. Go ahead and roll. What is it? A D6 still or a D8?
D8.
D8.
No, it's D8
Holy
now.
shit! Yeah, you can have a
God.
0.
I could give her a
Wait,
0.
wait, hold on. But technically, you gave me a bardic inspiration,
I
so
did.
I can roll a d8 and try
God.
to.
Okay, roll. Pick which one you want to roll first, and then
Okay.
roll that one,
Just-
and then roll the other.
All right. Okay, I got a 5, so it's 8
Hey, hang
plus
on just a
5.
second. Check the chat.
Oh yeah! Dragons, dragons,
All right, so hang on.
dragons.
We're gonna fucking backtrack now. Go ahead and roll another D20 because it would be.
Okay.
You're gonna use
But I
it.
did roll the inspiration, so we're gonna keep that the bardic
Sure.
inspiration
So it's a
I
5.
rolled.
Would
To
you
be
roll
fair,
5, so it'd be a
5.
5. Okay.
So you negate
13.
the.
You've got to be kidding me.
Is it another nat 1?
2.
It's a 2.
So
Okay.
it's a
So
9.
we go from
It's
an
a
8 to a 9, so that makes
14.
it 14.
So then go ahead and
14.
roll your bardic on inspiration.
So roll a d8.
Man. A 5, no!
Back down to a 9. There we go.
There you go. So that
A
would go.
Oculus dice!
Oh
Why?
my god. All right.
It knows
So-
the story.
It knows the story.
It
It's
knows
just,
the
it's
story.
fine. It usually does me so well, and then
you find you don't find anything like he distracts you so hard that you go from the non-fiction section to the fiction section. Like you just somehow cross across the whole entire library and get into the fiction section where you find the only thing you find is a children's book called Foop, the Magic.
Wait, Foop?
Foop.
F-O-O-P. Have you never heard of Foop?
Yeah, Foop, the Magic Dragon.
No, that's why I said Foop.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
oh my gosh, this is
There we
amazing.
go.
No, I'm just asking if I heard correctly.
Yes, no,
How
you
have
heard
you
it
never heard
correctly.
of Foop?
For copyright reasons, I had to change the name. You know what?
Well,
Instead
then-
of magic, if I'm going to redo the whole thing, it's Foop the Fantastical Dragon.
There we go.
Oh, thank
there
you.
we go.
While they're doing this dragon searching,
Yes.
and all of this, Eden is going to meander and find a way over to Corvus. I'm assuming Corvus is sitting there nerding out over a book.
He is. So
Nerding? No.
I
Reading,
really
like
I
a
really
normal
know-
person.
I really know you want to do some RP right now. I'm gonna.
Oh,
pause.
Oh no, I was just gonna go over there, and Eden's just going to drop those books in front of Corvus and walk away.
Okay, cool. Then never mind. I will say, with your passive perception,
Mm-hmm.
you notice lingering around, like kind of moving around the aisles next to or near the table where Corvus is sitting, a human woman just kind of looking at a book, reading a book, but like looks sus, like definitely keeping an eye or a watchful eye of Corvus. And Corvus is too ingrained in his book on page 2 of the
Okay.
Rumhaven family to be able
Well,
to...
then in
I'm
Corvus's
on page
head,
3 now.
Oh shit,
Okay,
my
well,
bad. I'm sorry, my lord.
in your head, then, for one, there's a conversation for later, but for two, there's a female keeping a very close watch on you from the other table.
I'd like to I'd like to drop a book in that direction. Like as I'm trying to pick up one, I'd like to knock it so I can look over without being obvious.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand for me. Please and thank you.
Nope.
No?
It's a 14.
14. Okay, actually, I'm gonna contest that. As you drop it and go down to pick up the book, you do that like weird, like movie thing where, oh my gosh, I dropped a book. And as you stand back up, you're eye to eye with this woman. Paler complexion, human, dark black hair, strands of white kind of running through it. Eyes intensely amethyst in color. She picks up the book or kind of helps you stand up with the book. Where do you come
Thank
from?
you. For the lands out, I've recently decided to make home of this land.
What's your name?
I feel as one that has come so close to me, I believe you surrendering your name would be preferred.
I believe one, bearing the eyes of my family that I do not recognize, should name themselves first.
Eyes of your family. Might I tell you now, I'm not interested.
Not interested in your blood.
In what way do you speak?
Your blood is your bond. Your bond is to your family. If you are a lost child of my family, then you should return home.
I'm Corvus. What family do you speak of?
They call me Valorian. I'm of House Wormhaven. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Eden was totally watching that whole shit too. Like Eden was just like
Yeah, passive
I love
perception
it.
is like meow.
passive my ass. Eden is walking up like 10 feet behind Corvus, like
There's a lot. What I will say is there's a lot of
The
smolder.
drama.
There's a lot of smolder and a lot of broodiness.
Brood.
In that little bubble. It's
Uh,
a 10 foot of just brood.
It's now a magical effect. Broodiness.
You take 1d6
Aura of
brooding
brooding.
damage if you get in with
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm loving it.
Be careful,
Yes.
it becomes a
Ready
regional
for-
effect very quickly.
Oh my god.
quick summation of my last bit of notes. Lady watching Corvus has same damn eyes. They family.
It's crazy.
Family.
All right.
Family.
A couple things. Barefoot in chat. BAREFOOT. If
Do
you want a
Umbrella D20, yo.
mysterious Umbral Oculus D20 that comes in this like really nice bag that I'm not going to turn around because it has the one of the many dice that we will be giving away in the coming weeks. Barefoot, if you want a chance at that. Other than that, couple quick shout outs, couple quick pieces of sponsor information before the true stars of the show tell us all about them. First and foremost, Brianna Flame for doing the overlays for the Ecriom Expeditions. If you want any sort of graphic design, digital artwork, photography done for anything in particular, Brianna is the individual to go to. Absolutely fantastic to work with, and is just awesome at what she does. Who else we got? We got Esoteric, who is the cartographer who made the map behind me. Made the Lands of Ecriom if you're looking to get those sorts of things done, whether it's a map of a town. He also does town maps. So if you do town maps or area maps or whatever, check out Esoteric. And then Del Borovic, who did the character art that you can see down below me and to the left of Art, who did the character art for us. If you want any character art done, talk to Del. Absolutely amazing to work with. She also does emotes. All of the emotes, or actually most of the emotes for the channel, done by Del.
They're so cute.
And yeah, absolutely adorable. Sponsors, Dragon Rock RPGs Design, Renee, oh my gosh, I almost said Renee Lieberman again. Daniel Lieberman,
Yeah.
Renee Beauregard. They're two sides of the same coin. The Dragon and the Rock of Dragon Rock, creating unique and creative content for the TTRPG community, whether it's writing their own content or collaborating with others like myself. Their goal is to bring their extensive expertise and experience to all of the materials they work on. Next, Umbral Oculus Dice. Terran, the bane of my die rolling existence, but the purveyor and crafter of dice from beyond the veil. Terran is creating and conjuring relics under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. Use the code Red Hare Inn, all one word, all caps, for 10% off your purchase. And then last but not least, the Initiative Order, TO, as they are called, is a collective of passionate TTRPG players and creators that want to help the community thrive and grow. The main goal of TO is to explore and experience all types of gaming systems while creating an inclusive community for all of our players and viewers. And I say ours because every one of us here are also members over at the Initiative Order. I run currently the Conan Wavestained Crimson series over there, and everybody else will talk about all the stuff that they do. What's going on in my chat right now? Cool. But yeah, other than that, Taryn, talk about you. We're going around the horn.
I'm me. Hi, I'm Perrin, a generally creative human TTRPG player and GM, an Eldritch entity and dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. That's you_dice on the Instagram. I do have a shop update coming hopefully within the month. I am currently polishing and inking dice sets right now. I've got 16 full sets and some surprises that I'm working on. I'm hoping to get those out before the holidays. And yes, it's jewelry and they're cool. So that's what I'm doing there. You can catch me alternating Fridays here at the Red Hare Inn, not this Friday, but the next one for Dust to Dust, our spoopy witchy themed D&D mini series. They're finally cracking the mystery there of what the hell is going on in this cursed hamlet. And then on Mondays, right now we're in the initiative order, you can catch me playing Lafayette Daytona in our Vault Fallout mini-series that, of course, the Stiletto Assassin is running again, and I'm very happy to be back in the Wasteland. I think that's all I'm doing right now. But do the socials, because I've got stuff.
Hello, everybody. I'm Renee Beauregard. I am one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design, as Logan so eloquently described us. You can find us at Dragon Rock RPG on Facebook and Twitter, and Dragon Rock RPG Design on Instagram. You can find our creative things on our link tree, which I'm sure Logan can throw into the chat there by doing a command of sorts. But you can find all our stuff on DM's Guild. And all of our stuff is pay what you want, so it's technically free. We ask you leave a rating and review if you like the stuff. Tell us what you think so that we know what to make for you guys. We have things coming down the pipeline. When? Couldn't tell you. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know when that goes down. But keep your eyes on our social media. We'll let you know when we have new things happening. My dear, next.
Hello, everybody. I'm Utahime. You can find me here on on every other Tuesday. So hopefully you guys come back and hang with us while we uncover many mysteries. Like, who the heck is that lady? Yes.
Who's that lady?
Okay, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna just keep dancing if I do that. But I am the community manager over at the Initiative Order. And also too over at Cybernation Uncensored, two amazing communities that either run community games or we have different stream games that you could be a part of if you're a GM or a player. So please check out both communities. I also too am up to lots of different tabletop shenanigans on a weekly basis. Mondays, I can be seen using one of Dragon Rock's amazing subclasses for Rangers called the Archaeologist. As Shayneth Valaris over for Last Light on Mercs of Mischief, and that's Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. On Wednesday, actually tomorrow, the premiere, I'm so excited, on Open Circuit Studios for Leverage Los Angeles. Any Leverage fans in the chat? Yes, this is based off of that show. It is a awesome TTRPG that was created with Cortex, some friends over there, Cortex RPG. I'm super excited to be playing their resident thief / hacker. So if you want to see what my girl Locke gets up to tomorrow, please go over there at 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can also catch me, for those who are LA natives, you can catch me over at the Roguelike Tavern for Pick Your Poisons Productions, the Roguelike Rumbles. So if you've seen any of the Mythical Melees, just imagine that, but live. So, but not as powerful.
Nice.
Not as powerful. I wish that would be amazing because I'm playing a monk, and it might be a monk that we've known to be a little shady. So we shall see how that works out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Your
one.
favorite redheaded monk is
Put
coming
money on
back.
someone else.
And last but not least, because I cannot keep taking up too much space, but I'm trying to announce all the things before people get upset with me. I am over on Cybernation Uncensored with Team Nevermore, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday. You can catch me playing one of my new favorite characters, Nexus. She is so much fun. She's their resident media. I'm just basically holding it down while Stiletto Assassin is away temporarily. Or maybe not. I don't know. We're going to find out what happened to her character. Mwahaha. Hopefully uncover that mystery. So definitely check it out over there, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. And I'm passing it along because I talk too much and I'm starting to lose breath.
I guess that means it comes down to me. Hi everyone, I'm Eddie, otherwise known humbly across the interwebs as the Discount Bard, your humble vaudevillian vagabond, spreading shenanigans wherever I go. When I'm not here at the lovely Red Hare Inn, I also bounce around other TTRPG channels. Right now, one of my other current projects is on alternating Thursdays over at the Initiative Order. I'm in City of Mist, where I get to play the lovely Jack Lapidus, who's a very fun character I've been very much enjoying getting to explore. Otherwise, when I'm not playing TTRPGs, I'm also on twitch.tv/discountbard, where I do variety gaming content, and also whatever my current hyperfixation happens to be. Outside of that, I'm an actor, entertainer, full-time storyteller, silly person, and all around just trying to spread kindness and chaos wherever I go. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's pass it along casually.
Oh, hey, what can I say? It's Jay. Corvus is who I
Casual.
play. Yeah, you weren't ready for that plot twist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're mean
it's Jay.
to me today.
Casual. I do all kinds of things. You can find me on social media at just2casual. I'm on Cyber Nation Uncensored, doing every Friday at noon. I play the super mutant samurai Kenpachi Yasuke, who believes the most magical place on Earth, Disneyland, was a place where magic truly does exist, wielding a giant clock hand to sever the heads of people, like a super mutant samurai would. I'm also over on Vault on the Initiative Order, playing almost an opposite character, a lovable medic who is a passion for music and dance. I'll moonwalk to your heart and patch up any wound as Jetson. So there's that stuff going on. I'm also working with Beth the Bard, the author of She is the Ancient, on her next Ravenloft project, Lemortia, the domain of snow and stitched flesh. All information regarding that over at lemortia.com. It is amazing. We have been doing all the beautiful work of body horror. The art is coming together delightfully. The layout is wonderful, and I am telling you, it is terrifying in the most beautiful of ways. So stay tuned for all that. And also, I work on anime TTRPG stuff. I'm taking a small hiatus on some designing work, but just trust and believe. Anime is my passion, dice is my work, and see how it comes together in a great tabletop experience. Or not, that's up to you. It's your loss.
It's gonna be golden.
It'll be great.
It's
All right.
over 9,000.
It's over.
It is
man.
over 9,000.
The misquote.
I've seen the word count.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know. Utahime, you put it barefoot. The actual spelling. I don't know if that was intentional.
She did.
I know. I don't trust y'all when you actually write the right word, though. Like that's how. That's how sus.
Yo, Utahime, Sasia's Baka.
All right, hang on. Now, let me find your. Let me make sure I check and mark you off for doing
Baka. Get out of here.
All right.
End it. Just end it.
Just end it all off with the
we're
ada.
rolling. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Woo!
Hell yeah! I will
Hey.
reach out to Richard if you're here.
Let's
you know,
go.
Send me. I think I actually might have your info, but I'll reach out to you. I'll find you and I'll call you, beep you, because I want to reach you. And on that note,
Hey, this is crazy.
no, that's not even.
I know.
What?
Not even the right.
I just had to fuck with you. That's the point.
but
We
on
love
that-
you.
on
Thank
that
you
note,
guys for
raid.
joining us.
We're gonna go
Have
raid
a
dungeon.
little bit of chaos.
Yes, we're gonna go raid Dungeon Scrollers. They're playing D&D. They look like a lot of fun. So go send them some love. Buy them around on the Red Hare Inn. And until next time, guys, just remember, adventure awaits. Bye. Y'all.
Arara.